and Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, to all of his divine associates, and to all the assembled devotees, and to the assembled devotees, Diksha Gurus, who are my Shiksha Gurus, Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Madhav Maharaj, Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Pan Maharaj, and Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Siddhanti Maharaj. And I forgot the last verse. Kripayati yadi radha padita sheshabadha kimapadavashishtam pushtimaryadeyormi yadi vadati chakinshit smeraha soditasir dvijavadamani panktya mukti shuktya tadakyam Shama Sundara Sakanda Shekha Spera Samurali Manohar Adhikara Sika Mam Kripanite Swapriya Charana Kinkari Karo Prananatha Brishabhanu Nandini Srimakabja Rasalola Satapada Radhika Padatale Kritastite Tambajame Rasikendra Shekha Sambidaya Dashine Trinambivo Prartaye Brajamahendra Nandan Astu Mohan Tavati Ballabha Janma Janmani Marisvari Priya. If Sri Radha is merciful to me, then unlimited obstacles to my devotion will be removed. There will be nothing superior for me to attain, because I will have received the excellence offered by the paths of both Vaidhi and Rag. And if she speaks something while smiling gently, thereby revealing the brilliance of the rows of her beautiful pearl-like teeth, what significance will the oyster of liberation have? O Shamasundar, O you whose head is adorned with peacock feathers, whose face is graced with a laughing smile, whose morally flute enchants the mind, and who are most expert at relishing ras with Srimati Radhika. O ocean of mercy, please make me a kinkari at her lotus feet. You are the Lord of the life of the daughter of Brishabhanu Maharaj, and you are like a bee, always eager to taste the nectar of her lotus-like face. Can I interrupt myself and ask the people who are way down there to come to the middle more? Can you just do that automatically when the bhajans stop? O Rasika Shekhar, topmost of those who are Rasik, who are situated at the feet of Srimati Radhika, I worship you. That wasn't much movement there. O son of the king of Braj, O all-pervading one, O Mohan, who enchants the minds of all. Taking a piece of straw in my teeth, I pray that your supremely beloved Sri Radha be my dear worshipful goddess, birth after birth. So that is our goal. And that's why today, to achieve that goal, that's why we are worshiping Lord Shiva on this holy day of Shiva Ratri. So we'll begin by uttering the prayer. What page is it on? And the Mangalacharana. Oh, wonderful. Page 21. Does everybody have that? Vrindavanavanipaté Jaya Soma Soma Mole Sanak Sanatana Sanatana Naradedya Gopi Svara Brajabilasi Jugangri Padme Prema Priyach Nirupadi Namo Namaste. O gatekeeper of Vrindavan, O Soma, all glories to you. O you whose forehead is decorated with the moon, and who is worshipable by the sages, headed by Sanak, Sanandana, Sanatan, and Narada. O Gopiswara, desiring that you bestow upon me prem, divine love for the lotus feet of Sri Radha Madhav, who perform joyous pastimes in Brajadam, I offer pranam unto you again and again. So Shiva Tattva is a very complex tattva. Srila Gurudev said, Lord Brahma is not so complex. He creates the world, as we read about in the third canto, Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Shiva assists in creation, destruction. He serves all of Krishna's incarnations, Krishna, Ram, Nrsimha, Varaha, and so many others. He is known as being a post, in which case he engages in creation and destruction, and he's also a personality who lives in so many of the abodes of the Lord. He lives in Govardhan. He lives in Mathura. He has so many names. Rangeswara Mahadev, who was worshipped by Kamsa, and who ended up ending the life of Kamsa. And there's Lokanath Mahadev, and Gopiswara Mahadev, and Chakaleswara or Chakreswara Mahadev. And there is Harihara Eka Atma Mahadev, and others. And we'll hear about them gradually as the day progresses into tomorrow morning. So I'm first going to be calling on Vasanti Devi Dasi to glorify Lord Shiva. And she's going to speak loudly and slowly.
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpa Jivascha Kripa Sindhuvevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. First, offer my heartfelt pranam to my beloved Holy Master Nitya Vishnu Vishnu Padasot Sochi Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Raj, and to Nitya Vishnu Vishnu Padasot Sochi Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Bharti Goswami Raj, His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and to our entire Rupanuga Guru Varga, our guardians on this path of bhakti, to Srimati Sharmani Didi and all the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Please accept my pranam. So, as I touched a little bit yesterday about the creation of the Shiva Tattva book, it's a very dear book to me. And it's a very dear book to our beloved Gurudev. He was very happy when it was produced. And so we need to order more of them and distribute it more. So we had a case of 200 last month, and it's already gone. So, yeah, only 200. I know. So one thing I shared yesterday when Gurudev said print immediately for Shiva Ratri, mistakes or no mistakes, was because in his Gurudev's trance, he combined a bunch of stories into one.
Three
stories into one. So when we started editing,
in his lecture.
So when we started editing, and she noticed it, he told Didi to follow when she was editing, he said, follow the Bhagavatam. And so it took extra time to edit. But it was very magical making. And So I was just going to share a couple of things about, as Shamar Didi stated, about Lord Shiva's many different names and his many different places of residence. He's called the Kshetrapal, which means he's the protector of the Dham, and so when we go to the holy Dham, actually by his, we pray, we go to him first, actually Guru first, and then we go to Lord Shiva asking to pray for entrance, to be allowed into the holy Dham. And so similarly, as I won't tell this pastime because I'm sure you'll tell it tonight, but as
I'll tell whatever's left over.
well, Gopishwar, his original form is Gopishwar Mahadev, and he was dipped in the kund and became, in his pastime, he's always
Why
Gopishwar.
was he dipped?
He wanted to enter the rasa dance because his Lord Shiva's meditation is on Astakliya Leela always. He's always worshipping Radha and Krishna. So he wanted to enter the Ras Leela. And somehow, so when he went to Vrindavan, Purnamasi Devi dipped him in Brahmakund, in this lake, and he got this beautiful gopi form, enters the rasa dance, and the dancing, and then Krishna and the gopis realize there's something off, the mood, there's something.
Where was he?
He got in.
He was looking from out.
But he was inside.
I mean, he was in the vicinity, but
Right,
he wasn't
dancing. Yeah. So they find her. They ask her, "Who's your mother? Who's your father? What village are you from?" Because and she didn't know, because Purnamasi didn't tell her any of that information. So they said, "Oh, you're an intruder." Slapped her around and said, "You can't be in."
What happened after they slapped her?
Her cheeks got pink and red. And they said, "You can't be in this dance, but you can guard the entrance to the arena." And so Gopishwar would sit outside. So similar in this way, Lord Shiva in all different forms protects the Dham and allows us entrance into the Dham and into. So as Shamrati said, in Mathura, Lord Shiva is Rangeshwar. And actually in Shiva Tapa book, it says that that Kamsa was killed today on Shivaratri. It says, because on Ekadasi, which was a few days ago, right, Sunday? Yeah, Ekadasi was Sunday. On Ekadasi, Kamsa called Akura to his residence to get advice. And then the next day, Akura reached Nanda Bhavana on Dwadasi, which would have been Monday. Trayodasi, Krishna and Balaram traveled from Nandagaon to Mathura, and then today, Chaturdasi, was the fight, and Kamsa was killed. So, but they don't do, I don't know what day they do, because in India, they have these big Kamsas and then they burn them. Remember that? I don't think they do it today. But anyways, today is the day that Kamsa was killed. So, and Rangeshwar, this arena was called a Rangadam, and so Rangeshwar, big bow was in front, and he was decorated extremely beautiful, right in front of the arena. And there, the big elephant, what's his name? Kuvalaya Pete was like, he was ordered to kill Krishna and Balaram right at that entrance, but of course he couldn't. And so it says, and the wrestling arena was beautifully decorated, flowers everywhere, arched gateways, and the enormous bow of Shankar was placed at the front of the arena. So after Kamsa was killed, Shankar, in the form of Rangeshwar, was extremely happy, even though Kamsa was worshipping him for these powers. Obviously, No one can kill Krishna. No one can beat Krishna. So that was today. And so Mathura, there's many. There's I don't Pipaleshwar. There's 4 in each direction. Pipaleshwar, what's it called? Bhuteshwar, Rangeshwar. So Chakleshwar is in Govardhan. And in Govardhan, Mahadev, Shiva, also lives in Govardhan. And he's a very good friend, well, with Srila Sanatana Goswami.
Oh. Which one are you going to do?
Okay, I won't do. Are you going to do that?
Huh?
Okay, I'll save it. So I won't do that one. So
Were you going to
there's-
do the mosquito one
That's my favorite.
and the married one? The marriage one? Okay, so you know the
Yeah.
the
I won't do
marriage?
Chakleshwar. But anyway, so Chakleshwar is in Govardhan. And then in Nandagaon is Aishishwara Mahadev, who Nanda Baba would go to and pray. Not Nanda Baba, sorry. Parjanya, Nanda Baba's father, would go and pray for a child. And then he had 5 magnanimous sons. And then there's also Chakatirtha. We're not doing Chakatirtha. Aishishwar we did. Oh, yeah, and then Didi talked about Rameshwar. Where does Rameshwar live?
Is anybody preparing to talk about Rameswara?
Anyone going to do Rameshwar?
So,
I could say it. Rameshwar means Ram Leela connected.
Yes.
Yes, and so I think I can talk.
You can do Rameshwar? Okay. And then there's, are you doing Lokanath?
yeah, if nobody else
Okay.
is.
And, well, yeah, okay. So, yeah.
You can talk about Lokanath if you want.
No, I didn't have Lokanath. I had Chakleshwar, Rameshwar, and there was one more. Anyways. Nandishwar. Are you talking about Nandishwar? Or just that passing of the baby when he's... Okay. So Lord Shiva also takes the form of the hill in Nandagaon because he wanted to witness, he was praying to witness Krishna's pastimes. So Krishna says, okay, you can become a hill in my village. And so Lord Shiva becomes actually the entire mountain of Nandishwar, just like similarly in Varshana, Lord Brahma becomes, what's that mountain called? The mountain.
Brahma Parvat.
Yeah, Brahma Parvat. So Nandishwar Mahadev gets to witness all of Krishna's childhood pastimes. And Sharda's going to share a sweet pastime about that. Are you ready for that? Okay. Okay. Yeah, we're so fortunate to be in this line and to have heard these leelas, these sweet leelas, and praying to Lord Shiva for Guru Nishta, for he's also Guru Tattva, and Jai. Shiva Ratri ki Jai.
Anchikopatrivyacha kripasinivyacha varidanam pavanebhyo vaishnavya. So Vasanta gave a nice touching of various pastimes. And Vasanti, what is the significance of Lord Shiva becoming Gopeswara Mahadev, as you touched on that pastime?
Well, one thing is that when he didn't know his name, parents' name, or village, or seva, it's because we can't have our. Tell me if I'm on the right track. We are in our Siddhadeha, in our eternal Sarup, we have these 11 Ekadas Bhavs, which is our village. Am I on the right track here? No. Okay, never mind that. Forget that. For
But you can continue.
so we can't just get like in some in like at Radhakund, some Babajis just say, okay, now you are Lalita, or now you are so and so Manjri, without doing any sadhan. So
He did. He performed great austerities.
he did, and therefore he became Gopishwar. Um, for Leela, for pastime,
Yeah, you're on the right track now.
for pastime, he took. I don't
Okay, good. You got us on the track. So, Lord Shiva has many forms. He even becomes Advaitacharya. He becomes Bhima of the five Pandavas. He becomes Madhvacharya. And he becomes Hanuman. Although he gave Ravana worshipped him, and he gave Ravana, a great boon to be so powerful. But as Gurudev said, all of the boons that he gives have loopholes. So then he became Hanuman to help Ram destroy Ravana. But the main thing is that, and he becomes Sadashiva. Sadashiva is his Vishnu form with the 4 arms. And he even manifests as Mahavishnu, who breathes in and out universes or creates the ingredients of the material manifestation. But, as Vasanti said, these are all pastimes because the original form of Sadashiva is Gopiswara Mahadev. There's a pastime of how Krishna got his Gandiva bow, which he fought with in the Mahabharata. But that's just a pastime because he has his bow eternally. Similarly, Gopiswara Mahadev is the original form of Sadashiva and all the expansions of Lord Shiva, as Rudra as the destroyer, as Shiva Ling as the assisting creator. And so therefore it's just a pastime that he became Gopiswara, because he always is. That was the become. And it's just amazing. Everyone has their original source in Vrindavan, including Shiva, Sadashiva, the Vishnu form, and Arjun in the Battle of Kurukshetra comes from the original Arjun in Vrindavan. So everybody starts in Vrindavan. Narada, where does he start? Madhumangal, the coward friend of Krishna. And he serves in Ayodhya, he serves Lord Vishnu, and he serves as Srivas Pandit in Lord Chaitanya's Leela. But originally, he's the coward boy. So similarly with Lord Shiva. Okay. So, Janardhan, are you ready to sing? If you can turn the camera to our... Yeah. A couple of... Last year, Janardhan Prabhu wrote a rap kirtan about Lord Shiva. And if you're questioning any of the tattva, it all comes from this Shiva Tattva book. The rap is fast, but he's going to slow it down. But it'll still be a rap.
Bam bam bole 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 Namah Shivaya Hara Hara bole Namah Shivaya Bole 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 Namah Shivaya Hara Hara bole Namah Bam bam bole 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 Namah Shivaya Hara Hara bole Namah Shivaya Bole 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 Namah Shivaya. Lord of the ghouls and the goblins, meditate on Kailash mountain, churning the serpent of the ocean. Nilakanta, drinker of poison, covered in ashes from the burial ground. Garland of skulls, your neck all around. Basuki, his ornament, a serpent. Nanda, the Bulvamana servant. He is the paradox, long-matted locks. Bring down the Ganga from the heavens, greatest of all rivers from cosmic stars. Always in Bhubaneswar, he is near and never far. He is everywhere under Krishna's utmost care. He hangs with the ghosts and the witches, renouncing all the fames and the riches. He is the bestower of forgiveness, glorified in all the Vedic scriptures. Bam bam bole 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 Namah Shivaya. Hara hara bole Namah Shivaya. Bole 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 Namah Shivaya. Hara hara bole
Namah Shivaya.
Bam bam bole 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 Namah Shivaya. Hara hara bole Namah Shivaya. Bole 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 Namah Shivaya. Hara hara bole
Namah Shivaya.
one eye like the sun, the other like a moon. On one hand, the drum, poop poop, hadumuru. He wears a tiger skin on his body, pigment blue. Mighty arm, three-pointed trident, weapon, Trishul. Worshipping the lingam, most easily pleased. A boon from austerities, be careful what you reap. A loophole in the wishes to the most auspicious. Friend of the friend or cheater of malicious. Nataraj, Lord of the dance, set the universe on fire with your glance. Eyes grazing, caught in trance. Open up the third eye, ring of fire. Burn I wanna down my material desires. Devotion you inspire. Rudraksha tears you cry. You stop the wheel of time. Past, present, future you see every day and night. Mysterious and quiet. Won't turn down the fight. Exhibiting your might. Warrior of the light. Bole 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 Namah Shivaya. Hara hara bole Namah Shivaya. Bole 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 Namah Shivaya. Hara hara bole Namah Shivaya. Bam bam bole 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 Namah Shivaya. Hara hara bole Namah Shivaya. Bole 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 Namah
Shivaya. Namah Shivaya.
the post and the person, the duty of destruction. From material mode of ignorance to perform his function. The topmost yogi under Krishna's lotus feet. Hari Hara Eka Atma, most exalted devotee. Purnamasi, Yoga Maya giving mercy. Dipped in Brahma Kun so that he can serve the gopis. Guardian of the doorways, gatekeeper of Vrindavan. Vaishnava Namyata Shambhu, is the greatest Vaishnava. Bole 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 Namah Shivaya. Hara hara bole Namah Shivaya. Bole 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 Namah Shivaya. Hara hara bole Namah Bam bam bole 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 Namah Shivaya. Hara hara bole Namah Shivaya. Bole 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 Namah Shivaya.
Hara Hara Bol. Namah Shivaya.
Lokanath Mahadev ki jai. Shishi Gopeshwar Mahadev ki.
Jai.
Kameshwar Mahadev ki. Nandeshwar Mahadev ki.
Jai.
Chakreshwar Mahadev ki.
Jai.
Parvati Pati ki jai.
Jai.
Shishi Shankar ki jai. Hara 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 Mahadev ki jai.
That little rap had so many pastimes and so much tattva in it. Huh? Yeah. Yeah, I could hear where you got it from as you were singing. That's so wonderful. Thank you. Okay, now I'm going to be calling on Tirthapad Prabhu to... Well, I don't think any seniors are prepared at the moment. Hmm?
I read a little bit last night. I didn't write any notes, but I
then let's wait till tonight. And you can write notes in the meantime.
I have some notes like in my phone, but I didn't write
So,
paper for tonight.
all right, good, good. So that way you'll be thoroughly prepared.
Yeah, I have like the line of where, which lokas and what.
Wonderful,
I'll get it all memorized.
fantastic. So I think all the seniors are going to be speaking tonight. Hmm? Because there's also a bathing ceremony tonight. All right?
I was told that today morning Madhusudan Prabhu and Tirtha Bhakti will speak. I heard Yamanandi say that. Of course I would speak, but it's maybe better in the evening. Better. More. Then I'm like official.
Can somebody give him a pillow? Oh, that little desk.
It was next to the projector for a while. Is it right there anymore?
Is it not there? Yeah, it elevates the computer. Do you want to run and get it?
Namastrastam manumapi sachiputram matrasvarupam Rupam tasyagrajam murupurim aturim goshtavatim Radhakundam girivaramaho radhika madavasham Prapto yasya pratita kripaya shri gurum tam natosmi Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I offer my humble, respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my Guru Pad Padma. Om Vishnu Pada Stotra Sat Shri Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Van Gosai Maharaj. Simultaneously to my Shiksha Guru Devi, Shri Srimati Shamrani Didi, and to whole Rupanuga Guru Varga, and to all the assembled devotees. Dandavat Pranams. Okay, so I will speak on the relationship between Sanatan Goswami Pad and Chakaleshwar Mahadev, Shivji, who resides in Govardhan, as we heard from Vasanti. So Chakaleshwar Mahadev, Chakal Eshwar means he is the Ishwar of the chakra, Vishnu's chakra. And so this Chakaleshwar Mahadev, Sanatan Goswami Pad would perform bhajan and saran on the banks of Manasi Ganga. In this mood, like we sing every morning, Yatraiva Gangam Anunaviradham Maroya Madhe Tuni Magna Noka Krishno Hiradha Nugalo Babhosa Govardhano Me Dishatam Abhishtam. So he's meditating on the boat sporting pastimes of Shri Radha and Krishna in this Manasi Ganga. And should I tell the whole boat pastime?
In a minute, yeah, you can.
Later.
No.
Oh, in 1 minute. So so the gopis are trying to cross the the Manasi Ganga to with their large ornaments and many yogurt pots and milk pots to bring to where were they bringing?
Often they do that because there's a fire sacrifice where anyone who contributes to the fire sacrifice with milk, ghee, and so on, get all their desires fulfilled.
Yeah. So I'll repeat just so the mic could hear. They typically go to any fire sacrifice that's happening to get their desires fulfilled and offer ghee, milk, yogurt, like this. And so the gopis, they needed to cross the Manasi Ganga. And so Krishna himself, he decided to disguise himself and fulfill their desires internally, but he disguised himself as a boatman. And so he said, "Oh, gopis, please come on my very nice boat. All can fit here." Though they get out to the middle of the water, and Krishna starts to move the boat like this, and the water starts rushing from Yogamaya's arrangement. And so the water is going up, flying over onto the boat. And Krishna's immediately, "Oh my gosh, the gopis, your ornaments are too heavy, too many ornaments, so please throw all your ornaments off. Throw all of your yogurt pots off, it's too much. Oh, and your gopi, so much dresses, so much diamonds embedded into the dress of the gopis." As we see, there's so many jewels, so many diamonds, very heavy dresses. You can abandon these dresses. And so in this way, Krishna is joking with the gopis, and in this, with the waves crashing up and down, Srimati Radhika is in so much fear, so she immediately goes to the boatman and takes shelter of Krishna. And, "Oh, Krishna, protect me," then realizes his disguise like this. And so, Sanatana Goswami Pad on the banks of Manasi Ganga would perform bhajan there. And nearby was Chakaleshwar Mahadev. So one day, Sanatana Goswami Pad was performing bhajan there, and he's realizing, oh, so many mosquitoes coming. I can't even focus on, this is all pastime, he's fully absorbed, but he wanted to leave this place actually. And so, just like here, when you're sitting chanting japa and mosquitoes come and you're, "Oh, I don't want to be in this place anymore," immediately going. and so, like Shivji said, "Oh, please don't leave me, Sanatana Goswami Pada. You are my dearest friend." Actually, Shivji himself, though he is Ishvar Tattva, he also wants to associate with high-class Vaishnavas. These Brajarasik high-class sadhus he wants to associate with. And this place is called Parangarangada Ghat in Manasi Ganga, near Manasi Ganga. So he's begging Sanatana Goswami, "Oh, please don't leave." And so with his mystic power, he made this one spot. Still to this day, no mosquitoes come to this one spot of Sanatana Goswami's bhajan kuti. And why? Because Sanatana Goswami Pad is Labanga Manjari. He's nearest associate of Shri Shri Radha and Krishna, serving in their most conjugal pastimes, most confidential pastimes. So like this, Shivji wants to associate with high-class Prajarasik sadhus. And so one shloka, Anaharadya Radha Parambojarenu Anashrita Vrinda Tavim Tat Parankam Asambhasya Tadbhava Gambira Chitan Kuta Shama Sindura Sasya Vagaha. If one wants to enter the deep mellows of Shamaras, this Shringar Ras, then one must have three qualifications. The first is to always reside in Radha Param, be completely one-pointed towards Srimati Radhika in Braj. And the second qualification is to stay in that place which is completely embedded with her footsteps. This is Radha Kund. And all over Vrindavan as well, but primarily Radha Kund. And not to go to any place where Chandravali performs her pastimes, this would be Sakistali. If you go to Sakistali in Vrindavan, you will be rejected from Srimati Radhika's group. So we don't want to go Sakistali. Even Raghunath Das Goswami rejected a leaf plate while doing bhajan on the banks of Radhakund from some Vaishnava who came to give him some dakshina of milk or buttermilk. But he even rejected this because, oh, where did this leaf bowl come from? It came from Sakistali. No, and he got very angry at this person. So externally showing, oh, this Vaishnava has such a hard heart, so angry, so crazy, no? But actually internally his mood is completely one-pointed towards Srimati Radhika. And the third step, this is completely being absorbed in the Harikatha of high-class Rasik Vaishnavas, taking shelter of their lotus feet like this. So Shivji is giving the example like this. And so, Shivji...
Giving the example of wanting to associate with high-class Vaishnavas
Yes.
of Vrindavan.
Yes, like this. And so, Shivji has so much greed actually to associate with high-class Vaishnavas, like Sanatan Goswami Pad. And there would be so much love and affection between them actually. My Gurudev says it's like you can't clap with one hand, you need two hands to clap. So I love you, you love me, like this. There's so much affection between them. And he would, when Sanatan Goswami Pad would circumambulate Braj Mandal, he would go to Gopeshwar Mahadev. But throughout his old age, he no longer could go that far to the banks of the Yamuna near Gopeshwar Mahadev. And so Shivji still wanted to associate with Sanatan Goswami, and so he manifests himself as Bhankari Mahadev, Bankeshwar Mahadev. And so Gopeshwar took the form of this Mahadev to associate closer with Sanatan Goswami Pad in his later years. And so, let's see here. Yeah, so he would manifest, perform bhajan and sadhan in Pavan Sarovar as well, Sanatan Goswami Pad, and Nandagan. And there that Shivji is called Nandeshwar Mahadev. And Sanatan Goswami used to take darshan and meet with Rupa Goswami in Ter Kadamba, where Sanatan Goswami Pad would perform bhajan and sadhan. Shivji is there even in Mathura. Sanatan Goswami Pad performs bhajan and sadhan there. Shivji also coming. That's called Nanda Gokula Mahavan. So if you go to Braj Mandal Parikrama, you can see that wherever there's Sanatan Goswami Pad's bhajan stali, there's Shivji right next to it, like this. So such an intimate relationship between the Vaishnavas, topmost exalted Vaishnavas. And I guess the Gopeshwar pastime was already discussed. So I will just speak a little bit on Shiva Tattva. So Shiva is actually called Dham Rakshak. He's protector of the Dham. In all of his incarnations, we must first go to Guru, then approach Shivji Maharaj. Without Shivji's mercy, without the Vaishnava's blessings, we can't enter the Dham. So he's said to be Dham Rakshak, always protecting the Dham from those who are offenders or aparadis, averse to Krishna. So in this way, he even manifests to those, who he's so merciful, he allows, like he incarnates as Shankaracharya, just to bring the entire world up like this and taking the role of being chastised by the Vaishnavas, literally, in order to, this is what is actually favorable for him. He appreciates this. Actually, this is his highest benediction, to be chastised by the Vaishnavas, taking the form on. No one will take on these forms. Who will become Shankaracharya and preach Mayavad against his own God? But he's doing this for the benefit of all others. So
He didn't want to do it.
He didn't want to do it, no.
Krishna ordered him to do it. He said no one else could do it because people are coming to me for their own selfish, exploitive desires like Ravan, and they're coming and disturbing the whole realm of bhakti. So you have to preach you don't need to worship Krishna, you're God. So just stay where you are. You're God, we're all the impersonal God. And Shiva said, can't you ask somebody else to do this? And Krishna said, no, you're the only one who can do it successfully, because it's such a bogus philosophy. You're the only one who could convince millions of people of this bogus philosophy. So then when Narada came and told Lord Shiva in the first chapter of this that you're so fortunate, you're so dear to Krishna, he said, if I was dear to Krishna, why would he have asked me to speak this nonsense philosophy and keep people away from Krishna? I so much regret this. But as you said, that's just the pastime.
Very nice. So Shivji, he has many duties, but he's actually, sometimes he is manifest as Jiva Tattva, and sometimes also called Ishwar Tattva. Jiva Koti and Ishwar Koti. Like Brahmaji, Brahma can take, Brahma Tattva also Jiva Koti and Ishwar Koti. So Jiva Koti meaning Jiva will take the position of Brahmaji. And Ishwar Koti means Krishna himself, he manifests as the rare on the rare occasion that he manifests as the form when there's no qualified Jiva to take the form of Brahmaji or Shivji. And so, one who follows the position of Varnashram Dharma perfectly for 100 births, he will get the position of Brahma, perfectly following either Brahmacharya or Grihastha Dharma or Vanaprastha Dharma or Sannyas Dharma in 100 births, perfectly following. And so like this, there is Jiva Koti Brahma, two kinds of Brahma, Hiranyagarbha Brahma, and another is called Viraj Brahma. But every kalpa, it's very difficult to find out one person who will take charge of Brahma, because this vrat of Varnashram Dharma is not so easy to follow, even in 100 births, not so easy to follow.
Especially in 100 births.
Especially in 100 births. So he himself will take the charge of, take the position of Brahma. And let's see, doing this thing. Sastra gives evidence as like one kind of jewel that is called Surya Kantam Mani, which when the rays of the sun reflected
Wait, you left the previous pastime. You didn't complete it. You didn't show why Lord Shiva is superior to Brahma. Because if you enact the post of Brahma perfectly for 100 births, 100 Brahma's births, which is millions of years, then you can take the post of Shiva.
Oh, 100, he has to retire sometimes. Shiva takes 2. But it's rare. Oh, I see.
If he does, on a rare occasion, if he
It's
does
very, very rare. It says.
100 births of Lord Brahma perfectly.
Yeah, to destroy. So my Gurudev is saying here, Jiva Koti Tattva, but very, very rare that one takes the position of Shiva. Very hard work to destroy the whole universe. Not so easy. Not so easy beating chastisement. This is hard work or not. Police work is very difficult. So everybody criticizes this person. Oh, who wants to do this position? Do you want this job of punishing people and beating the people? And many criminal people associate with other criminal people. This means also what association with the criminal people. The police's job is to violate those who are, they're giving punishment in this way. And so...
What are you saying? Violate?
Yeah, it's like... He has to destroy, Shiva. So in the universal destruction, also he's, has to associate and then chastise them in one way or another. So Shivji's job is not so easy. But then there's, it's quite complex. Ishwar Koti Shiva is also Kailash Shiva. Sadashiv. In this way, I think you'll speak on this now. Okay, perfect. Then Vanchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Very excellent.
Thanks,
Good
thanks.
pastimes.
Oh, thanks.
Good tattva. We're entering more and more into the complexity of the fundamental truth of Lord Shiva. Very good. Tonight. But I just want to share one pastime with Sri Sanatana Goswami and Lord Shiva, that even when they're not together physically, like Prabhu gave some instances where Lord Shiva moved his residence closer to where Sri Sanatana Goswami was performing parikrama, so he wouldn't have to go that far. But even when they're far, still he serves Sanatana Goswami and glorifies Sanatana Goswami. And so once there was a poor brahmana, and he wanted to get his daughter married, but he didn't have any money. And in Indian culture, you have to give a big dowry to the husband's and the husband's family. So he didn't have anything. So he went to Lord Shiva and asked for some wealth for the marriage. And Lord Shiva said, well, I know someone who can give you wealth, and he's way far away in Vrindavan. So he walked all the way there, and he came to Vrindavan and asked for the whereabouts of Sanatana Goswami, and of course everyone knew him. So he said, Lord Shiva said that you would give me wealth for my daughter's marriage. So first Sanatana Goswami was thinking, I don't have any wealth, I just have a loincloth, I don't have any possessions at all. Why would Lord Shiva send him to me? But then again, Lord Shiva is my friend, so why would he steer him wrong? So he thought for a bit, and then he said, yes, I do have some wealth. I have a touchstone, which is a stone that anything it touches, it turns into gold. So you can go and find it. It's there on the bank of the Jamuna right outside, somewhere in the dust and sand. So then the man searched and finally found the touchstone, and then he was on his way back to to Kashi, Varanasi, where Lord Shiva lives. And then on the way he was thinking, first he was so happy because he tested, and it worked. But then he thought, well, hey, wait a minute. If this was such a great wealth of Sanatana Goswami, why would he keep it in the rubbish and the sand, like barely remembering where it is? So he went back to Sri Sanatana Goswami and said, I think you have greater wealth, but you haven't told me about that wealth. So Sanatana Goswami said, okay, first take the touchstone and throw it in the Jamuna, and then come back. By this time he had so much faith in Sanatana Goswami, so he did that and then came back. And then Sanatana Goswami said, okay, then I'm going to initiate you into the holy name. So he gave him Harinam. He said, go take bath. Then he gave him Harinam initiation. And he said, don't go back. And automatically your daughter's wedding will take place. And that's exactly what happened. By the power of the holy name, everything auspicious, materially auspicious, took place for the Brahmin. So that was another Shiva and Sanatana Goswami. And where's Vasanti? Should we stop here or should I tell one more? Okay, and then others can speak tonight. So, one day in 2001, when we were fortunate enough, can this be louder, Garagoji Prabhu? We do. Is it better that way? Hare Krishna. All right. Hare Krishna. So one day in Jagannath Puri in 2001, Basanti, were you there? I was fortunate enough to be on Srila Gurudev's Jagannath Puri Parikrama. And there were about 600 or so devotees, and within that, there were a couple of hundred Westerners. So we all passed through this gate, big gate, and on the left side of the gate was a pond. And Gurudev and the Indian devotees went right into the temple. But when the Westerners tried to do that, we were stopped. You know, in many of the temples in India, Westerners aren't allowed, even in the main Jagannath Puri temple. So we all sat outside, and then while all the other Indian devotees were outside, Gurudev came outside. And you know, those of you who have been to India, sometimes in front of shops, there are steps, like stone slab steps. So Gurudev came out and sat down in front of one of the shops, right by the pond. And then we all rushed closer to him. And of course he began to speak. He said that Lord Shiva in this world has various manifestations. And they're non-personal manifestations, like earth, water, fire, air. Who's wrestling? Is anybody wrestling? Is the Russell himself? Okay, so earth, water, fire, air, and ether. They're all manifestations of Lord Shiva. As you know, when Mahavishnu is glancing over the unmanifest material nature, the dim reflection of his glance is Shiva Lingam, and he unites with that unmanifested Durga or Maya, and the whole cosmic manifestation comes into light. So the elements are his manifestations. Srila Prabhupada explained in the third canto, there are various, this is the third canto itself, and then Prabhupada further explains it in his purports, that we can understand the presence of Lord Shiva when certain things happen. When there's a big raging storm with waves, because it's turbulent, that's a manifestation of Lord Shiva. When there's a slap of the fist, that's a manifestation, Lord Shiva is there. And when there's some anger and there's a, what do you call that? Scowl and the wrinkles in between the eyebrows, that's a manifestation of Lord Shiva. So he manifests as lingas, like Shiva Linga. You know, there's the stone Shiva Linga, like we have here. And then there's the Ambu Linga, a linga made of water, like this pond. So the pond is called Gauri, because Gauri is his consort, Gauri Kund. And then Gurudev said, inside, there's just another Ambulinga. So that's what all the Eastern Indian devotees got to see. So you didn't really miss anything. So here, being rejected, you have an opportunity to be very humble and meek and prayerful. And you get to pray to Lord Shiva. You can touch this, you can pray out here, you don't need to go in. So you can do Achman here of this pond. You can touch the pond. You can offer your obeisances here. And there are many places in Bengal, Gurudev said, where there are Ambu lingas. So you're actually more fortunate than the Indian devotees who went inside because you're feeling more meek and humble. So you get to pray. Here he's called Lokanath because what happened was in Kashi, Varanasi, Lord Shiva's residence, there was a king, king of Kashi, and he had a, what was that other one? He had an associate named Pondrak Vasudev. Pondrak Vasudev, naturally as a human, he had 2 arms, but he thought that he was really the Vasudev. He thought that he was Krishna. So he added a couple of arms to himself. Some people are really pathetic. And made himself blue. And then he went to challenge Krishna to a fight. You can see this in Krishna Book Volume 2. So, of course, Krishna won. With his Sudarshan chakra, he sliced the heads of this king and his associates, Pondrak Vasudev. And then he burnt down the whole city of Kashi. And then when Lord Shiva saw that his city was burnt, he ran. And he ran to Jagannath Puri, to a place called Ekambra Kanana. And he took shelter of Lord Jagannath. And Lord Jagannath told him, "You have nothing to fear because you've taken my shelter. So now you will be known as Lokanath Mahadev." Nath means Lord and Lok means the world, Lord of the world. So just as no one can enter the rasa dance, as you heard, without the mercy of Gopeswar Mahadev, Lord Jagannath said, similarly, anyone who comes to have my darshan, unless after having my darshan, they have your darshan here, their darshan of me and their pilgrimage to Jagannath Puri will not be complete or successful. So again, all of his forms are eternal, but again, he got that benediction. So, Lord Shiva, then, Ekamra Kanana. So, Gurudev is explaining that he's very, very merciful by nature in that regard of being Lokanath Mahadev. And then we just uttered that prayer to him at the beginning. Do you remember it? Page 21. Vrindavana Vanipate Jaya Somamale Sanak Sanandana Sanatananara Dedya Gopisvara Brajavilasi Jugangri Padme Prema Preyacha Nirupadi Namo Namaste. So just at that time, when Gurudev is sitting at the steps, we're all sitting at the pond, Gurudev said, he gave a much deeper meaning than the translation that you just heard. First, he asked us all to repeat every line. Vrindavana Vanipate. Okay, repeat. Jaya Soma Soma Mole. So, yeah. So he said, so we pray, and this was the very deep meaning. We pray, O Lord Shiva, even great personalities like Narada Muni and the 4 Kumaras. They all worship you. You can give love and affection like that of the gopis. So therefore, we all want to memorize this and say it regularly. In your purest form, see, every other form of Lord Shiva is an expansion of him, but the pure OG form is Gopeswara Mahadev. So you are very powerful. You heard Janardhan Prabhu singing, Hara Hara, and that's Hara Hara Eka Atma, which means that Krishna has become your Atma, your soul, and you have become his Atma. So does that mean he's on an equal footage with Lord Vishnu? He's always the servant of Lord Vishnu. What was that phrase you said, Janardhan, from the 4th canto of the Bhagavatam? That he's the best Vaishnava? No, you said something in, Vaishnavanam Jatasambu. Of all the Vaishnavas, he's the greatest. So that means here, Atma doesn't mean that they merge together, even though in, where's that place? Hare Hara Chetra, they're one form, half black and half white. But it doesn't mean that they merge into each other. Here's the meaning. Gurudev said, this is all in front of the pond, on the steps, in front of the shop. Here, Atma means dearmost or very beloved. So Krishna and Lord Shiva are one at heart. You know, like when two people love each other, they're one at heart. Lord Shiva serves the Supreme Lord as Hanuman, as Bhim, as Madhvacharya, as Advaitacharya at the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and in many other forms. We have come here to this place, Ekamrakanana, to beg for the mercy of Lord Shiva, or Lokanath Mahadev. But I don't see Lokanath Mahadev here. I see Gopeswara Mahadev. So he's showing that the pure devotee, he just sees the original. Like when Lord Chaitanya saw Lord Jagannath in the temple, he didn't see Lord Jagannath with the big eyes and the no feet. He saw Brajendra Nandan Sham Sundar and fainted. So he said, repeat after me. So we did that. So we pray. So this is the deep meaning of that verse. O Gopeswara Mahadev, we have come to you. Here your name is changed. You have manifested as Lokanath. But we don't know you as Lokanath. We only know you as Gopeswara Mahadev. You cannot cheat us by hiding from us and pretending that you're Lokanath. You can cheat demons like Ravana and Kamsa and Jarasandha and others. See, gradually, because most of you are pretty new, gradually as you hear more and more from the scriptures, when you hear a name like Jarasandha or Ravana, the whole pastime of Ram or Krishna killing the demons will come into your head in a moment. But you can never cheat us. This is because we have taken shelter of who? Purnamasi Yogamaya, who by pastime gave you that form as Gopeswara Mahadev. We've taken shelter of her, so we know who you are. If you cheat us, we have to tell you that we're going to go and complain to her, and she will punish you. Shishi Radharaman Bihari Jeev Ki Jai. Just like he was punished last time when she gave him the form but not the name. You heard about that. You remember, all the gopis slapped your cheeks and they became swollen. So kindly remember this when you're thinking about cheating us. So please, by the love expressed in this prayer, Lord Shiva will appear in the form of Gopeswara Mahadev. And then Gurudev ended the lecture. First he said, I have told something special to you because you're sitting outside and feeling separation. Then he ended his lecture the way Janardhan Prabhu ended his rap kirtan. Lokanath Mahadev ki jai, Shishi Gopeswara Mahadev ki jai, Kameswara Mahadev ki jai, Nandiswara Mahadev ki jai, Chakaleswara Mahadev ki jai, Parvatipati ki jai, Shishi Sankar ki jai, Hara 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 Mahadeva ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare Bo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Gora. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Gaur Premanande. Panchakopatruvyaschа kripa sindhubhyeva cha patijanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo. You have an announcement?
Haribo. So,